Hi guys! We are Honey Couple
And this is Q.
and LJ.
So in this video, we're gonna talk about differences between German and Korean couple cultures, but it is based on our own experiences, so they can be quite subjective. I hope you guys remember that.
Yep. So for this video, we are happy to announce that we are collaborating with Luisa,
Which is a highly sustainable jewelry brand.
based in New York.
And they're currently having a big sale event, which is called March Madness campaign.
And it runs until the 25th of March.
Yep, so you guys should check it out.
Definitely. So if you check out the link in the description box down below, then you can find our code and you can get about 20% off.
Which is a really good chance.
So the reason why we decided to collaborate with Luisa is because I am definitely a big fan of dainty jewelry and gold pieces. And we were looking for couple rings for quite a long time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now we found our perfect match. The pieces that I personally picked out, they definitely exceeded my expectations. And in my opinion, they look quite unique and elegant.
Mm. So for shipping, it took only a few days to arrive in Germany here.
In our case.
Yeah, from New York. And considering it's from New York, I think the shipping was really fast.
Yeah.
Luisa is a company who takes care about the environment and sustainability. And we could already feel that from the packaging they sent to us. So the packaging looks really simple, as you can see. And if you open the box, it says, we're carbon neutral here. Yeah. And they also sent the jewelries in these pouches. And I think they are really useful.
Like in general, they have something for everybody and they have different price categories. I think it ranges from like $39 to like higher end pieces. So yeah, you could definitely check it out. So I'm actually wearing both of the necklaces together right now.
Fancy.
Yeah, and we picked out the winter oval necklace, which is this one. Yeah, we'll show it in a close-up shot right now.
Yep.
So that one is about $75. And then I also picked out the Elise pendant, this one.
Yeah.
Personally thought this was also really cute. That one was $49. And then our couple rings, they are called Jones rings, and they were $59.
And if you don't want to miss out their new releases or new sales, you can follow them on Instagram and subscribe to their newsletter.
Don't forget to check out our link in the description box to get 20% off.
So first of all, I think in general, the Korean couples are usually more focused on the emotions. They care about more like cutesy stuff or just romantic stuff, I think. On the other hand, I think German couples are a little bit more serious and could look not fun, but I think they both have pros and cons. So first one that we're gonna talk about is couple items. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of it, but in Korea there are a lot of couple items, including our couple rings here. And couple t-shirts, couple sweatshirts,
Couple everything.
yeah, couple
shoes,
clothes, shoes, and even phone cases. We like to buy something that looks similar
The same.
or
I've
the
seen
same.
people wearing the same.
Yeah.
The same, you know.
How about in Germany? Do you also do some kind of
No, I've never heard of that. Now we did this, right? And we are usually like color matching our outfits because I think that looks more aesthetic. I'm kind of into that aesthetic look, or that you look like you belong together. Like I like that. But that only makes sense to me if you've been together for a long time and stuff like that too. So
Okay.
so it only makes sense later on, and not like I heard that they get the couple rings really early.
That's true.
For that 100th day or
Yeah,
something
that's
like
true.
that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And we got it now, and we've been together for 800 days, which is like 1.5, almost 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And here in Germany, it's more about individuals. So
Yeah,
we all have our individual style, and we don't really match on purpose, even with our partner. Just
Yeah, and adults, what I felt here is that adults should behave like adults. There is some kind of
that's true.
pressure, or how should I explain it? Like there's this notion that you have to follow.
Yeah. Kind
If
of.
you're an
In
adult,
public, at least.
yeah,
In public. Yeah, like talking in a cute voice. Like some couples here do that. First of all, not many, I think. If they do that, they only do that in private and only to their partner. But if you are in public, or if there are other people around, I kind of feel like we act more like we want to act more mature and not because we see it as being childish, like
Yeah,
maybe
maybe.
showing emotion. We also use couple like names, like to give each other a nickname, like shots or something like that, right? You know that?
they want.
We do that,
Like
but
자기야.
yeah. But still, like in public, it's a little bit more
Like
like
reserved.
yeah,
I guess.
definitely.
Yeah.
At least when it comes to acting like that, not when it comes to holding hands and kissing and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Then I think Korea is more reserved when it comes to that, right?
The next one that we want to talk about is anniversary.
Yeah.
In Korea, there are something called 100 days or 200 days.
So just in general, you
Like-
count the days, right?
Yeah.
You always count the days.
So 100, 200, 300 days, something like that. On the other hand, in Germany, it's about annual things, right?
For a couple after 18, like a mature couple, I think it would be just annual.
Annual thing, right?
Yeah,
Like
so-
literally an anniversary.
Yeah, like the number one or the first anniversary is obviously after 1 year, and yeah.
I see.
But I think how we celebrate that is similar, or
Probably similar.
yeah.
Just,
We just go out to eat and we give each other a present, maybe.
Yeah,
some
it's also like
jewelry.
that.
Yeah.
and we also celebrate Valentine's Day. So Valentine's Day in Korea is for women to gift her partner some chocolate.
So only the woman gives a present to the man.
Yeah. So Valentine's Day is only for women
And
to
I have to give you
gift.
chocolate?
Yeah, chocolate.
Okay. I'm pretty sure that most people know about Valentine's Day in the West, right? But it's different here. I kind of feel like, yeah, we are both gifting something to each other, but we are like doing something together. Like it's a date day.
In the West,
basically.
right?
Yeah. So we would go on a date, and I kind of feel like mostly the men would give something to the women, but like the women can also give something to the man, either both or the man gives to the woman, and then we go on a date or something. It's more kind of a reminder to go out on a date, I feel like.
Okay.
And obviously it's really commercialized.
Yeah, that is
these
commercial
days,
actually.
so-
Yeah. We even have something called White Day, which is only for men.
That's 1 month later, right? On the 14th of March or something.
I'm not sure about the dates.
I think it was in March, like 1 month later, where the man has to give the woman, right?
Yeah, so the men have to give candies
Candy.
to his
What
girlfriend.
if that person doesn't like candy? And what if the guy doesn't like chocolate?
Then you're messed up, I guess.
What? That reminds me of something. I heard that in Korea, there's something for couples every single month. This month it's rose month or rose day.
Yeah,
Cinema, going to on a cinema date day.
Yeah.
Right?
There,
You have that.
yeah, there's something that they do monthly.
Monthly, right?
I'm not sure about the like.
There are rules for that.
Yeah.
Like maybe you can look it up if you're curious about the exact details, but we're not sure about it because we don't do that.
No, we don't do that.
But I think that was quite interesting because we only have Valentine's Day like once a year. Again, a yearly thing while you have something monthly
Right.
to do together. Yeah.
So next thing that we want to talk about is how to get into the relationship
Yeah.
or the period before getting into a
Okay.
relationship. I think in Korea it's usually a short period of time. There's something called 3 dates rules. A guy and a girl,
Yeah.
if they go on a date for 3 times, then they have to decide if they want to be a couple or not before the 4th one, basically.
So on the 3rd date, one of them would ask like
Like
if
what?
they want to be in a relationship.
Yeah. So they want to make sure if it's a romantic relationship or not.
That's what it's for. Okay. Okay. So you kind of want to make it exclusive, and then you get to know that person.
Yeah.
Like being sure that we are only seeing each other. That's what it's about, right?
Yeah.
To making it exclusive and
Yeah.
then getting to know that person like really.
Yeah.
Okay. That
Making a
makes
border.
sense.
You don't meet any other girls or other guys.
But that doesn't mean that you love that person, that you're
No.
in love with that person.
No.
So a relationship is not for like I'm deeply in love with you. It's just for like we are seeing each other exclusively to see if we work out.
Yeah.
Okay.
But from then on, they call this as a couple. So it's a
Okay.
first date from then on.
Okay. So that's when they start
Yeah.
calling.
But on the other hand, I think in Germany or in the West, it takes
Yeah.
quite long to call each other girlfriend or boyfriend.
I mean, it depends on the person, obviously, but like in general, definitely it would take more than 3 dates, usually. For me, it would take a few months personally. I also feel like in Korea, they see each other more often, maybe. If we're not a couple yet, we will meet up maybe once a month, once a week.
Once a
like-
month.
Yeah, like if we're busy, like for
Okay.
adults, you know, just like slow. We like to take everything slow, and we still have our personal life, which we respect.
It's probably from individualism, I think.
I mean, I'm not sure, probably. And for us, like, if we say, like, let's be in a relationship, then it's usually, like, when you have feelings for the other person. So you get to know the person before, and then when you're sure that you have feelings for that person or that you love that person, then you ask them to be exclusive.
Okay.
Yeah. Obviously, at the beginning, the other partner might be seeing other people at the same time. That can happen, right?
Yeah.
You can ask them, though. You can ask them without being in a relationship. But I kind of feel like there's an unspoken rule that at some point, naturally, you will just only hang out more and more. And we don't necessarily ask, let's be in a relationship, or do you want to be my girlfriend? We don't. It's just
Then how do you know that?
clear at some point. For me personally, I mean, there are other people, but for me personally, like from the first kiss, then it's clear for me because I wouldn't do that with anybody, you know?
Okay.
But like there are other people who do that before, obviously. So yeah, maybe they are talking about it then. At some point, one of them will ask, what are we, maybe, if it's not clear, but like...
I feel like it's more liberal here.
Yeah, it's more open.
Yeah, more open.
Yeah.
To more possibilities, I guess.
Yeah, or to let it be natural and not make the other person like uncomfortable in any way or feel like they have to commit to me right now, you know, something like that. Yeah.
I see.
Definitely.
Quite different.
Yeah.
The next one that I found different is the frequency of texting. I would say like that. So in Korea, as soon as you get into a relationship, after the 3 days, you have to report every single thing to your partner. It's kind of a unspoken manners. You have to keep it. For example, you've heard of it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that many girls in Korea are quite extreme with that.
Especially
if the boyfriend doesn't answer.
Yeah. Especially girls are more curious about it, I guess. Yeah, you have to tell your partner like what you're doing and what you're eating, where you're going, with whom you're hanging out, when you're going to sleep too, you know.
Okay, even though you've basically only met for 3 times.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's quite a responsibility.
But like I'm just generalizing.
Yeah. But there are people like that. I've seen it.
I've also seen that from my friend. What about here? Do you text that often, like in Korea?
Depends. I mean, before the relationship, like I told you, we like to play hard to get a little bit, I feel like, and give each other some privacy, some space, you know. You can text however much you want, I feel like. We are not really pressuring the other person. Like, you can ask them to give you an update, but I haven't seen a person who expects their partner to tell them, like, everything right away and text the whole day. We don't have to report everything.
Okay, were you okay with that?
I mean, like when that person is outside, they don't have to text the whole time. But still, I would prefer the Korean way, but like not like as a must. But like obviously, it's nice if that person tells you where they are going before they do that, you know. But while they are doing something, they don't have to text me 24/7, or they don't have to call me every day. You know, I don't think that's necessary.
Okay, so it's just in between, I guess.
Yeah, just
something.
Just every couple here is really individual. There's no rule like that. It's really individual. More individual. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And next one, I think it's not only about the relationships. I think it's also about
culture.
Yeah, the cultural difference. So as a Korean, I really noticed that after meeting her up. I didn't know that really. Okay. But generally, people in Korea try their best not to show or express their bad emotions to the people. It's kind of a taboo. And obviously, this rule applies to the relationship. So if there's a problem, especially girls just get salty. There's no problem.
In Korea?
Yeah.
I mean, that also exists here, but not to that level, I think. I've heard about that in Korea. A lot of couples also just break up and they never actually talk about their honest feelings or the honest reason, like why that happened. Like there's a problem and they just become salty, but they don't actually talk about it. They don't let it out.
Like in general, they don't talk about those problems openly.
Yeah. So they would rather just go separate ways instead of like trying to solve that somehow. Because they're so uncomfortable with dealing with that maybe, or like they don't want to annoy the other person with that. I don't know what the reason is. And here we would just like say it, you know.
What's wrong with you?
like to me that's like, I can see how that can be difficult if the other person is quite sensitive, you know. But to me, that's just more efficient. Like, if you say something right away in that situation when you're angry, you might say something hurtful and let out your emotion, but at the same time, like, it can be solved right away if the other person knows how to deal with it, you know? Like, both have their pros and cons.
Yeah.
At the beginning, I noticed that he was like that. Like, you had a problem with me and you didn't say anything. You were just suddenly quiet and grumpy, and I was like, what is going on, you know? Why are you avoiding me suddenly?
There's no problem.
Yeah. And from then on, I told you to say it right away, right? Because it's more efficient.
Yeah.
But still, how I was used to was also quite extreme. I think we found a good in between now. To say it, but like not to show your whole emotion with that is the best thing, I think.
Yeah.
Just talking about it is a good thing.
Just mixing.
Talking carefully.
Yeah. So mixing those two things to make harmony.
Yeah. Like bringing it up carefully, using your words carefully. Yeah, that's the best thing.
Yep. The last one that I want to tell you guys about is the motel culture. So maybe you guys are thinking, motel? Is it for just sleeping over or something? But in Korea, there are a lot of motels, first of all. You saw that, right?
Yeah,
in those hanging out districts.
Yeah.
And they are usually known for an intimate time.
So couples go there to sleep together, basically.
Yeah.
But why?
Because they usually don't live alone.
We also don't really live alone, right?
Really?
Young teenagers?
No, but I mean the adults, you know.
Yeah. So even adults go there.
Yeah. Adults, maybe. So before marriage, they usually still live with their parents.
Okay.
Maybe because of the rent price, because it's quite expensive in Seoul.
And they study for a long time.
Yeah.
So no matter what, just couples go there before they're married usually.
Yeah.
Because they don't move out. Okay.
Yeah.
But that's really different.
And there's something called 대실, which is renting the room for a few hours. So it's not for sleeping overnight. You can do it for a few hours and then you can go out, you know?
Okay. But like,
So
that's really different. Like knowing that you have to go there with that pressure that you have to do that there. Like, what if you rent it and nothing happens? What if you just want to? Do you also do that just to chill together?
You can do that.
Like watch a movie or something? Like in a private space, because we can do that at our homes, you know. To me, that sounds like a lot of pressure on the girl, especially, or on the guy too, you know. It just sounds like a lot of pressure to me.
Yeah.
Let's say one person wants to go there for that, and the other person just wants to hang out like somewhere.
Yeah. So just to have a private space, you know.
So you have to use money for that, basically.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Because they don't have their own apartment usually.
Yeah, here we just go to somebody's home, like no matter if they live alone or not. I would say after 20, most people already live alone, or a lot of people, like students too, because in Germany we are from small towns a lot and we move out, you know, anyways, for like to a bigger city for studying there. And I would say most people in their 20s already live alone, or a lot of people, or with roommates. But even if you live with your parents, it's a bigger house maybe most of the time.
Different floor maybe.
Yeah, a lot of people have done, not saying everybody, or just a big apartment. And
it makes sense if there are 2 floors, right?
but also with the rooms, like you can just go into your room and, you know. But like, and not just for chilling too. If you want to have a private, if you want to watch something, you know. Yeah. We have dates a lot at home. I feel like we just said that you don't really go to each other's house, right? You don't meet each other's families, I guess.
That's not really common. Especially showing your partner to your parents kind of looks like you're getting married or something.
So you only have like an official meeting to show your marriage partner? So you never like introduce them? Like even if you've been together for like 5 years, but you're still not getting married, you don't introduce them?
No.
Never.
That's not common.
Huh?
On the other hand, in Germany, it's quite common, right?
Like it depends on the personality, but like not even a couple just dating or just getting to know each other, you can come to the other person's house and they will just say hi and then go to your room. Like it's not a big deal, you know. There are some strict parents, so then also like you would have like a meeting or like who is that? Or you have a boyfriend, like, oh, can you introduce your boyfriend to us? Then maybe some parents would, or some families would prefer to have like a dinner together and then get to know each other in an official way. But still, it doesn't mean that you're getting married. It just means that you're in a relationship. But like most of the times it's just like, hi, and then you just go to your room and that's all, you know. Like you'll just meet them at home casually, again, really naturally. It's not usually a really official meeting or anything. They mostly also don't really say anything about them, like, yeah.
So today we talked about the difference between German and Korean couple cultures.
Dating culture, basically.
Yeah, dating culture. And I hope you guys enjoyed our video.
Yep. See you in the next video. Bye bye.